If this isn't exciting, I don't know what is. Yeah, we're just hanging out here with some Radiohead, and that's pretty cool, wouldn't you say? Um, we are looking today at OK Computer, the wonderful, wonderful 1997 album that got remastered in 2017 by the original analog tapes. So that's pretty cool. Um, well, let's get right into this and start talking about OK Computer in just a second here. All right, we're good, we're good. So this is OK Computer, OK Not OK, 1997-2017 by Radiohead, which is a wonderful little album. Let me just move this down a little bit. So this is a triple LP. Yes, you heard me right. There are 3 vinyl discs in here, vinyl records. 3 big old hunks of wax. It's kind of a lot. So, what makes this album so special, not only is that it's one of the best albums of our time, and that also it's by Radiohead, but because of what it meant in the time period. And I will start explaining that pretty soon. So OK Computer by Radiohead is, as I already said, one of my favorite albums of all time, and I'll get into why I love it so much in a second. But first, we're going to take a good little look at this weird packaging. Seriously, this is one of the most weird things I've seen in my life. First of all, it looks huge from the side. It says Radiohead, OK Computer, OK Not OK, 1997-2017, with the little OK symbol on the back. And also a little X thing there, which I always thought was neat. So the front has the original, pretty much the same thing as the original, but I think that may be new. I don't remember seeing that, but that may just be me being weird. So, OK Not OK is the only difference on the front here. Other than that, if this wasn't here, it just looked like the normal album. But this is quite the collection, and if you're a Radiohead fan, like me, then oh boy would you love this, because this is one gorgeous album. So let's take a look here through the packaging. Very first record, really weird. You got a picture of what I presume is our boys there. We also got this. I don't even know with them anymore. I'm really confused. But I mean, honestly, I love the artwork for this album. It's absolutely stunning, and I love it. I especially like the one on the back of this one. I really, really like this one because it makes me think of Amnesiac, which is my favorite, well, second favorite Radiohead album. I don't think I've ever talked about how much I like Radiohead on here, so pardon my sudden love for Radiohead. That's weird. So yeah, very childlike, weird drawings, and even a picture on this side that looks very much like the Windows startup screen. But anyway, let's take a look here at one of the records. This is a 180 gram vinyl pressing of the first 6 songs of OK Computer. Now you're going to notice one thing. There's barely anything on here. There's barely anything. The only way that you would know which side to play is if you look at the back, because this album is kind of a treasure hunt in itself. It's weird. It's really weird, and I'll get into that. But like, you'll be looking through, and you'll see like barely any packaging for it, and then you just see like a serial number, and you're like, okay. But the point of this album, when it had come out, people were like, oh my gosh, Y2K is going to happen, because it was 1997 when this came out. So they tried to keep it as impersonal a record as possible, which they definitely did with this edition of it, except for the blue one. The blue one looks cool, but it looks so processed and man-made, you know? Like look at that. That's not something you would see from a band that puts their heart into their music, you would think, right? But no, I mean, it's Radiohead and they're wonderful. But what to say about this album other than the fact that I absolutely adore it? there are no lyric sheets, which I'm kind of disappointed with, but I know the words to almost all the songs in here. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the songs, and in the meantime, I'll queue up my music, because while I did listen to the original album, which is packaged in here, I did not listen to any of the B-sides, which I will get to in another stream, but I want to make sure that when you guys hear me say things, I will be saying exactly what the song is, because sometimes, especially with this album, it's kind of easy to mix up songs. But, I mean, I know the first half well. I know the first half. So, I'll just cue up my music. So anyway, this, as I said, weird packaging. Really weird. On the back, it's really interesting on the back, at least, I think. But the only way that you know which order to play these records is by that tiny little text down there. It says logical track order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. You heard that right there. 23 songs. 23 songs on this triple LP masterpiece of OK Computer. So, anyway, let's get into the music because I know that's what you're here for. The very first 3 songs, Airbag, Paranoid Android, Subterranean, Homesick Alien, set the stage for one of the oddest musical experiences you will have in your life. So Airbag starts off, and you're thinking, okay, I'm liking this. It's very light, sounds like something you hear on pop music sort of stuff today, actually, come to think of it. Because it starts with like this heavy, like really heavy guitar noise. And then it starts to mellow out a little. I guess like a consistent tempo. I'm not gonna say it exemplifies the album because I feel like the song that exemplifies it is Paranoid Android because that's like one of the most well-known songs from it, just because it's like a modern day, dare I say it, Bohemian Rhapsody, purely because it has separate parts and one coherent theme story sort of thing going on. But yeah, Airbag, it's got a lot of interesting like merits to it. I mean, it's got a very nice. I mean, the bass player in Radiohead is good stuff, but the lead singer Tom York, I believe his name is, he has one of the most unique voices in music. Like it's like whining, but like not whining at the same time. It's like half the time he's in between screaming and crying in like half the songs. Like not full out like screaming like I'm screaming, or not like crying like oh I'm so sad and I only listen to I don't know what's a sad band. Well, Radiohead apparently. Speaking of which, I was doing some research before this. Apparently there was a newscast on Fox that said Radiohead fans are strange, malnourished, and sad. I give no comment. But anyway, let's get into this. Airbag, as I said, it just opens up the album. It doesn't serve much purpose other than opening up the album. Paranoid Android. This is a song. Let me tell you, this is something that you need to sit down and listen to it. Starts off with a nice little bit of like acoustic. Very. I don't know how to describe it. Like it's got little synth noises in the back every so often. I mean, I do like that. And then Tom York's voice, it's back. It's back again. And dear God, this man can make any kind of falsetto he wants because I will always buy his music if he keeps doing it like this. Because I mean, I don't know, like the lyrics in the song are interesting to say the least. I'm not gonna read through the whole thing of lyrics, but it's definitely one of their more odd songs, but it's something that you're used to if you listen to them a lot. And I feel like OK Computer is that album that is, I'm not gonna say it's accessible, but I'm not gonna say it's like sit down, listen to the whole thing. But at the same time, it's not like something like Purple Rain, where like you put it on at a party or something. Like no, this is something you share with a small group of friends, maybe by yourself. But this song also has a lot of themes of how everyone was scared of Y2K. There's actually reference to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy at one point, and how Marvin, the really sad robot that just wanted to take over the world, um, it makes multiple references to him, and I appreciate that because I love that series. That is a really good book series. I'm actually going to bring this up a little. There we go. So all throughout both Paranoid Android and Fitter Happier, and possibly some of the B-sides or extra songs that I have not listened to yet. I'm sorry. But something I've noticed is that Stephen Hawking's voice program, I think that's what they use for this too. Because a few times in Paranoid Android, for the entirety of Fitter Happier, you hear this voice that sounds very much like Stephen Hawking's voice program, and I don't know why, but like it's, as I said, this is an impersonal album. Like it's not to anyone. It's not to you. It's not to me. It's not to anyone except for everyone. But that came out really weird and hipstery, and I'm sorry, but you know what I mean, right? So anyway, very next song, Subterranean Homesick Alien, which is a mouthful. First of all, it has this very nice, soft synthy melody, I guess you could say, that's constantly behind it that shows up very soft, and it's definitely one of the slower ones. I don't know why, but every time I listen to this, it's like, you know, like when you're laying in bed and you wake up like really suddenly, like the oh my gosh, I'm awake now thing, like right. I mean, like almost everyone's had that where like you fall in a dream or something, you're like whoa, you know, and then like that sense of like okay, I didn't fall in real life, like you know that feeling where it's like really happy, like oh my gosh, dude, I'm not dead from a dream or something, which would be weird if you were. But what I'm trying to say is this song kind of makes me feel that same feeling of um, nostalgic relief. I I don't know, like there's a lot of songs that make you nostalgic of things that never happened. This may be one of those songs. I feel like a lot of Radiohead and actually a lot of albums from the '90s do that. If anything, I mean, oh, my hair made a little X. How cute. But yeah, it's and there's nothing that you wouldn't expect from any like vocals that okay. But let me put it this way: there's nothing you wouldn't expect from Radiohead's vocals in this. So it's a very on par song. Like it's your typical Radiohead song. Now moving to my very favorite song on the album, which was actually, I believe, written for the 1990s edition of Romeo and Juliet, the movie. And boy, is this song a huge downer. But if you listen to it and you're like, whoa, this sounds a lot like the story of Romeo and Juliet, well, that's because it is. And it's a ride from the beginning to the end. It's easy to play on on the ukulele actually, and so is Karma Police. But I don't know. It's not a very upbeat song, but there's this one bit. Okay, so it's like it's very soft for most of the song, and and things start to pick up a little bit, and he gets into like his higher voice and stuff, and you keep going. And there's like this little like chorus in the background, like little, kind of sounds like opera almost, but it's not. And then like there's random noises like birds and like airplanes and stuff. It's really weird. But then so you hear like his voice is a little different. Like you're like, why does he sound more serious? And then you're just holding on for a second, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and just like that, you're suddenly hit with this grating bass sound, and like it's right after this tiny little drum fill, and it goes, and I don't know why, but like with Tom York's voice, like his soft, whiny voice, singing over the noises. I don't know, just like that contrast of it. It just makes for a very interesting song, and and then eventually Tom York starts to pick up his vocals a little more, but it is my very favorite song on the album, other than maybe No Surprises. But what can I say? Exit music for a film is a great song. There's nothing more to say than that. Then one of the more upbeat songs on the album, Let Down, which doesn't sound very upbeat because, well, Let Down doesn't sound very upbeat. Also, can we just celebrate the fact that I haven't had any dropped frames yet this stream? How about that, right? But anyway, yeah, Let Down is maybe one of the songs you may actually hear on the radio of them if they put more of this album on the radio other than maybe Karma Police. It's like very like, it makes me think of John Mayer and that one song from Meet the Robinsons, that one Disney movie. I don't know. It just really makes me think of that, but it's like one of the more, it's definitely a more upbeat song. And while I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, it feels weird with the rest of the album. But that doesn't let it not be quite literally a letdown of a song. It's kind of like this nice little like this tiny little slow guitar picking in the back and like a little tambourine going at like all times pretty much. And I don't know, it's pleasant. It's one of the less grating songs on this album that like you can listen to and not be like the whole time, because that's pretty much this whole album. But I mean that in the best way. So the next song, which is one that I'm sure a lot of people know off this album, Karma Police. Oh, if you haven't listened to my new album, go listen to Karma Police on the new album. It's pretty okay. I don't know, but so it's a nice little piano, nice little acoustic guitar in there. I'm like, all right, I'm feeling this, and then eventually, like Tom York comes in, singing about some weird police force that only bases itself off of karma. And it brings up more themes about trying to find yourself in a post Y2K world, even though this was pre Y2K, which is weird that they were something in terms of being ahead of their time at almost all times. Like I feel like they were 10 steps ahead of every band that was doing what they were doing at that point in time compared to Radiohead, and there are definitely a lot of bands that have done that. I'm not just saying it because they're very prog rock-ish, because they're not. They're not prog rock. Like prog rock would be like Pink Floyd or like Tool or something. But what I'm trying to say is Karma Police is, again, pleasant until the very end when it goes and you're like, okay. You're like, I listened to this nice, soft little song, and you're going to throw the noises at me. Well, yeah, get over it. It's actually kind of a good song until it gets to that point. It's actually one of the only songs I've put on my sleep playlist from this album, because I do sleep to I fall asleep to 21 Pilots, myself actually. That's kind of embarrassing, but I fall asleep to my own music. Who else? Well, Radiohead. Who else? Some Panic at the Disco, actually. The Shins, Home Shake. Was it Home Shake or House Shake? Because Housequake was a Prince song. Probably Home Shake. Jerry Paper, the Glue Trip. Yeah, but like this is a fall sleepable song. I feel like it doesn't really have any lyrics that have too much meaning to them, other than the fact that this was coming out pretty near Y2K. But like it breaks off in the middle, and you're like, oh, this is nice, and it sounds a lot lighter than it was earlier. Because earlier it's like dear gosh, it was kind of a depressing song until he got to like closer to the end. But yeah, that's Karma Police. But then after that is very short. I don't even know if you can call it a song. Um, Fitter Happier, which is the other song with the Stephen Hawking voice program, and it's just Stephen Hawking's voice program telling you how to live your life, pretty much. Like, like, actually, you know what? Let's just find it and I'll read it for you. Fitter Happier lyrics. Oh, there's a poster? I kind of want to see the poster. Oh, that's actually really cool. Oh my gosh, it's like an entire. That's so cool. It's like an entire poster that has the entire quote unquote lyrics of the song, but this is a weird, like, it's hard to listen to sometimes. But like, let's take a quick read. Fitter, happier, more productive, comfortable, not drinking too much, regular exercise at the gym 3 days a week, getting on better with your associate employee contemporaries, at ease, eating well, no more microwave dinners and saturated fats, a patient better driver, safer car, baby smiling in the back seat, sleeping well, no bad dreams, no paranoia, careful to all animals, never washing spiders down the plug hole. I do agree with that one. Keeping contact with old friends can agree with that. Enjoy a drink now and then. T. Will frequently check credit a moral bank. Didn't even read that one till now. Hole in the wall. Favors for favors. Fond but not in love. Charity standing orders on Sundays. Ring Road Supermarket. No killing moths or putting boiling water on the ants. Agree. Car wash also on Sundays. No longer afraid of the dark or midday shadows. Nothing so ridiculously teenage and desperate. Nothing so childish. At a better pace, slow to more calculated. Yeah, this is weird. It's almost hard to read sometimes because it's just telling you what not to do, and a lot of those are what not to do and what to do, and it's weird hearing that from something that you expect to hear something uplifting and art like from, and instead you're hearing like this sad list of things to do. Yeah. But that is then suddenly picked right back up by Electioneering, possibly the most upbeat and garage band punk like song on this album. Like, it sounds so like it's coming out of like an old amp they found in your dad's basement or something, that like you just found out how to play the guitar. You just found out how to play like one riff and that's all you keep playing. But like, don't get me wrong, I do like the song. I do like the song. And again, nothing in terms of like crazy vocals or anything. This is typical Radiohead fare, but it makes me think of later Radiohead. Like it definitely has like a driving like drum and tambourine thing, and it's definitely a break from like the bad feelings of the first part of the album, and it then sets you up for getting absolutely destroyed in terms of your emotions for the second half. Followed right by Climbing Up the Walls, which I don't know. It's okay. It's he did a weird thing to his voice that kind of makes me think of "Do I Want to Know" by Arctic Monkeys. It it kind of does sound like that, like a slowed down version of that without the bass riff. You know, that's what it sounds like to me. So honestly, that's all I'm gonna leave it at. But like, it does have its moments. Like closer to the end, it does pick up a little again, putting good use to that tambourine. Um, and that definitely picks up by the end with a lot of it gets loud. It gets very very loud with like an entire orchestra in the background. Just makes it very very loud. But I do like his vocals near the end. Okay, No Surprises. One of my very favorite songs on the album. Wrong Side has a place in my heart. It's got like this nice little that's I mean, if you can imagine what this sounds like, then yeah, I mean it's it it is a soft, almost a lullaby like song, and has like this nice little bell section in the background, even though the lyrics are just telling you about how like the the person's life who the song is talking about is like so basic, and like there's quite literally no surprises anymore, and that like they have 9 to 5 and that's all they do. And it's a sad but nice sounding song, you know. It's one of those. It's it's one of those nice sounding but sad songs, like a very well done song should be. Then like sometime near the middle slows down, like it comes like this very a very ethereal orchestra sound, more vocals, sounds great, and then it goes right back into like a little bell thing. Almost sounds like a xylophone, and then picks up for one final chorus. And I don't know why I've been doing this all the time, but this just exemplifies how much I love it. Yeah, I mean it's a good song. All right, second to last song, Lucky. I believe Lucky was actually put on a charity album. Lucky, Radiohead. I believe this was, yeah, charity album. Was that The Tourist? Yeah, it was on the album Help. What was the Help album for? Yeah, it's got Come Together by the Beatles. Well, not by the Beatles. It's like a version by someone else who are in fact not the Beatles. It does have Radiohead's Lucky on it though. But actually, what is it about? The Help album. I feel like it was a charity album. Yeah, it was a charity album for the war child charity efforts in war-stricken areas such as Bosnia and Herzegovina. Herzegovina. Made entirely by British and Irish artists, followed by the albums One Love, Hope, Help a Day in a Life, and War Child Presents Heroes. So Radiohead's been doing some good things. They did a song for a movie. They did a song for a charity album, and um, this it's I don't know why, but the song makes me think of like a very slow song by maybe the Eagles, maybe the Eagles, maybe the Rolling Stones at the same time. Let's actually skip through this a little. Yeah, it's like your typical Radiohead tempo. They bring back the little chorus people from Exit Music. Um, it does have a very interesting chorus with this weird, really weird guitar effect where like they bend almost like every note. They go like I feel like with like every note, but I mean like I don't mind that. It just sounds weird in this song. But again, Radiohead weird go hand in hand. But anyway, that's Lucky, and then the very last song, clocking in at 5 minutes 26 seconds. Starts off with this nice little cymbal crash. You're just waiting, and you're brought right back to how Subterranean Homesick Alien made you feel, mixed with a little bit of Climbing Up the Walls. Um, it's like the slowest, like nicest song on the album. Like it's got a lot of light, airy, breathy vocals, which we're used to on the latter half of the album. And I love the melody that they use for this. It's constantly doing something. Like it's always moving. And then eventually the chorus hits, and you're like, whoa, okay, you kind of sound like Nirvana for some reason, except like a very slow version of them with a less raspy voice. So not at all Nirvana like, but I don't know. some reason. But yeah, I mean, to round off the album, I like it. I like it. I mean, it closes everything very nicely. For an album that welcomes you in a way that, like, it doesn't exemplify the album to then be left with a song that doesn't exemplify the album, it's a nice feeling when you can feel like the last song wasn't the culmination of everything. The culmination was somewhere in there, and I need to go back and find it. So, like, you go back and listen to the album all over again, and you still can't find it. And you're just like, it's not one or two songs. It's the whole thing. It is the whole thing. And that is what I feel about this album. It's that this whole thing has like even today, it still has its own meaning. And when an album can stand the test of time, especially in its meaning, here's looking at you. What am I trying to think of? What is it? I know I have it, but I can't think of what it is. But like, yeah, "Hail to the Thief" by Radiohead. If it can fit so well in this time period as it did when it first came out, then good on you. Because if you can make an album that, like, yes, I can understand, like, when a song stands the test of time, when you're like, oh, everyone still likes a song, okay, that's fine. But, like, you can make a whole album that can do that, good on you. And that is Radiohead, OK Computer. Now, next time we're back, we will focus on just this one. Just this one record here. Because believe it or not, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 songs on one album. Like one LP. Well, I guess Blink-182 one has 16 on it. But it's entirely B-sides and extras that haven't been heard other than on here. So I'm expecting them to be short experimental pieces, very much like the B-side of Abbey Road, which was, gosh, that was interesting. Like, hearing that for the first time, I was like, the heck were they thinking? But then I realized this is one of the most revered albums of all time, not just for its cover, because for those of you who don't know, it's the one that has the Beatles walking across the street on it. Other than being a very good album, it's an iconic album. But in the 90s, I feel like concept albums were something. In the 80s, concept albums were something. 70s, 60s, I don't even think they're running in the 50s. Prove me wrong, please. 2000s, 2010s, even now. People are making albums based off of something. And back when Radiohead put this album out, it wasn't a concept album. It was what people were actually living. And to think about that now, it feels so weird to think people are scared of computers and scared of a world where technology takes over a lot of things in our daily life. Say like our music, for example. Well, I still listen to vinyl, and I appreciate it much more than a few thousand songs on some MP3 player. I mean, yes, I do love my good old iPod 4 that I've been using since I was like 6 or something. I've just been building and compounding song after song after song on that thing. Whole albums. I've always been an album kid. I've always appreciated a full album instead of just a song by itself, which is why when people put out singles, I'm like, rest of the album, please. But here's looking at you, Panic at the Disco, and also myself. I need to stop doing that. But when a band makes an album about technology taking over and then they put it on digital platform, that's kind of funny. But I feel like OK Computer completely smashes that out the window with the fact that it exists on physical format and it sounds amazing. And also the fact that, well, I mean, the packaging is just absolutely gorgeous. But anyway, those are my philosophical thoughts. Wow, that got really deep for some reason. I don't know why. But I love Radiohead. Not afraid to say it. And I hope maybe you guys will go listen to this and you'll go see what you think about this wonderful little album. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. Even I still haven't. I may actually give away the download code. I'm not sure if I'm going to yet. I'll take a listen to the songs on the third record, and I'll be like, okay, do I want to listen to these outside the house or not? And then I'll decide then. But anyway, expect a part 2 of this sometime where we finish this up. And who knows, I may be doing another stream tonight as well on another album that I got, which I think you guys will like. Actually, I'll just show it right now. I've been listening the heck out of this. I love The Neighborhood so much. They are my lo-fi inspiration. They're pretty much where I got the idea to go and make a more lo-fi sound in my music. So hopefully you guys will be there for that too. So anyway, it's been fun. Thank you for letting me rant about OK Computer for a good 35 minutes, because I had a lot of fun. So anyway, thank you all once again. I'll see you again for the next review, which may or may not be tonight. And eventually we will do part 2 of OK Computer, which I'm very excited for. So, once again, this is Vinyl the Show. That's right, it's on my hat now. Signing off until my next review.